Call meeting to order. Like that. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, thank you, Lori. Welcome to a meeting of the Stanford Select Board. If you have a matter to discuss that is not included on the agenda, you may do so by addressing the chairperson and stating your name and address. You will notice that all our meetings are recorded, and this is to aid with the summarization of the minutes. Visitors are welcome, and we allow 5 minutes of comments per visitor and 15 minutes per topic. Discussions will be held in a common civilized manner and respectful of others. Select board members present are
Lincoln Hall.
Nancy Bashika.
John Dunn.
Kirk Murray.
Will there be any adding of items to tonight's agenda or removing of items?
Maybe, just looking over the, permit forms,
Okay.
and I didn't put that on the agenda.
I've got that on the roll business, so,
Okay, then no change.
okay. Will there be any adjustments to the agenda, such as changing the order of items? We good? Hearing of visitors. Marta.
I hope in the minutes it can, state that Green Up Day is happening on May 4th from 8:30 to 11:30. Come to the school, I mean, most people probably know about it, come to the school, get a donut, get a bag, get some gloves, pick up trash. And can we put it on the calendar on our website? That'd be great, thanks.
Something else, Hunter? Did you wait again, or?
No.
Oh, sorry, Jim.
Hit my other arm.
She
Jim
did
Reed.
my arm went up, no. So, my neighbor is subdividing his land and putting another septic and a well and stuff, and it overshadows my property. I contacted Deborah Bouchard and Maura Hawkins.
Oh, wait a minute, wait, I forgot something. Jeb, will you be recording tonight?
Yes, that was
Okay,
gonna be my
you'll
next-
on video, so Jeb is recording tonight's
So,
meeting on his
I
site.
called the state and they said overshadowing is out of their hands, although they're the ones that approve the septic system. It's a state septic system, right? They approve it. But overshadowing, they said you have to voice your complaint back to the town. I said, I don't see what they're gonna do about it. They said, well, that's our recommendation, so,
What's the town do?
yeah, we.
I mean,
So the town says that they don't know what to do, and the state says they don't know what to do. I certainly don't know what to do.
I read your letter and I didn't see where it said subdividing in the letter. Are they subdividing or are they
Oh,
just
yeah.
keeping this, okay, they're
Yeah,
gonna
it
subdivide
says,
off the private road?
yeah, it's B one or A one, is it? It's-
9A.
Yeah, nine.
Okay.
9A and 9B. On the second one, what they're doing is like an accessory building, they're doing, where they're gonna put another building up on 3 acres instead of 4 acres, they're gonna share it on 3 acres, and they're gonna expand the septic system, and share the septic system, and tap into the well that's there. On the lot before them, they're gonna break it off into 2 acres, because you can have 2 acres.
So this is all, cause I looked at the map too, and half of the more than half of the property is in the forest zone.
This is all before,
It's all in the two.
this is all within sight of the road. This-
Okay,
and
within a
it's
2
very
acre
short
lot.
distance. Probably all in.
Anything more than 2 structures on a private road, and they're gonna need a site plan review.
Unless they subdivide, oh no, right? So they keep calling the first one on LaSure Road.
What do you got
I
to
got
say?
it.
Yeah.
Matter?
Can I've spoken with both parties. Nothing is moving forward until the gardeners and I have a chance to talk. There are a lot of issues going on with this particular proposal. Nothing has been submitted for an application here. So right now, there is no formal request for a subdivision. So until that happens,
We
I mean, we really
There's nothing.
I know that the Riggies, I appreciate that they're voicing the concern over it, but until an
There's really no
application.
discussing it until then.
Okay.
Except for his portion, nothing can be discussed because no application has been made.
Right, we don't
To
know
us.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Well,
it's
just in general, any more than 2 structures off. the
They're
private-
aware of that,
Okay.
yeah.
Sally?
You're talking about a subdivision, I haven't seen any kind of transfer come through.
No,
No,
and
she
you
said
won't.
there's no application, nothing.
Nothing has come through on this end yet.
So it's just
Nothing's
kind of-
Well, they gotta put the cart before the horse.
Well, I don't know how they did it, all I'm saying is there's nothing here in the office.
Yeah.
Do you have any sense what the state's talking about when they say the permitting has something to do with town?
No, I talked to, I talked to the engineer that, stand up. I talked to the engineer that, actually drew the whole plan, and unfortunately, it's, when you can apply to the state for any well before they even come to us. So a well or a permit or anything can go through the state. It is kind of putting the cart before the horse, and that's what I spoke with him about, really. Anything of this nature should come before us so that we can give it our blessing before he spends money doing anything that may not get approved.
Doesn't it seem like if they're asking the state for the well, like you said, shouldn't they know where their house can go? And-
Yeah, it is,
and
yeah,
septic and-
they absolutely have a plan that is carved up, but as Kurt mentioned, these 2 homes that they're talking about putting on this center parcel, it's totally out of compliance with our bylaws, because if it was truly an accessory dwelling unit, it would have to be only 1/3 of the size of the existing structure, which is a single wide trailer, so it'd have to be almost like a miniature cabin,
It
a
has to be
tiny
third.
home.
I thought they changed that.
And it would have to be, according to our bylaws, it could only be a, 1-bedroom efficiency.
So have they started any
No, they've
construction?
started nothing, they haven't even made an application, that's why they're
What's he talking about, the septic system then?
just with the state. It just went.
No
to
shovels
engineer.
in the ground?
No,
Okay.
no.
Overshadowed.
Overshadowing is the issue right now, and the way it was explained to me by the state, nobody likes it,
But it
but
hasn't
first
been-
come, first serve. So if somebody wants it and you're overshadowing another property and it doesn't infringe upon their well, and I know, Jim, you probably were told the same thing, but it's first come, first serve. So these little lots, that's Alpenwald deal with it.
Half
frequently.
the town's overshadowed,
Half the town is overshadowed.
if not more.
Yeah.
Who was the engineer?
John.
Mance, I think
Yes,
it's
and John Wright's the engineer.
John Wright, but he's with Mance, I believe.
He's the,
Yeah.
vice president or something.
Yeah,
He's the one that did their surveying and
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, he's great, I mean,
The only thing I can think that the state's referring to when they say it has something to do with the town is they say increase your acreage per lot.
yeah, that's it, and this would, at this point, the way they have it drawn up, they would have to, turn that center section into a 4-acre parcel if they truly wanted 2 homes on that, and then it would have to be spaced such that it could be subdivided if necessary.
So once you subdivide, then you don't have to do the smaller.
Anything more, anything more than 2 structures off a private road. has
So
to go.
even with a subdivision that's on a private road, it doesn't.
If it's on a private road and you don't have road frontage to a main road,
Well, they do,
which is LaSure Road in general, I mean.
the private
this is
road
so
is,
everyone is aware at this point. There's a lot of lots up there that are basically 200 feet wide
Yep.
and 30 acres deep.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a lot of long, narrow lots where the only way to access them is access roads that run parallel to the boundary. Then instead of 1 or 2 lots, you could have 12 lots.
well, unless you're,
So
you
as
know,
long as
these
you
new
understand-
planned unit development laws or bills that are in place now to increase density could come into effect if somebody wanted to throw a putt up there.
I mean, LaSure Road is fairly wet, but it's also flat. You know, it could look like Chantilly Ave, Hawthorne Ave over by the airport up there, it really could. They're long, narrow, parallel lots, so
I'm one of 7 lots right in a row that are like that, those strips.
They're old Harry Patton lots, he was notorious for making them like that. There's scattered about town, he did a lot of the surveys here in town, so. Yeah,
Thank you, Deb. So right now, we're just, everything's on hold.
Nothing has been, he
Right.
hasn't applied, so there's
Okay.
been no application submitted.
Okay,
So
thank you.
we'll be chatting before anything to make sure that when something does go forward, it's within compliance.
Yep, thank you, Deb.
thank you.
Reading and approval of records and orders, regular minutes of April 4th.
Motion to approve.
I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, road conditions. Dave is unable to make it tonight. But I have a question for Lori on FEMA. You're proceeding, one road is done finally.
One road is completely done and it's been submitted, and we're waiting payment on it. And there's 5 other roads that are lumped together that are they were in the final stages, and the girl I was working with left, and I've got a new girl, and usually these people come with their new set of forms that they want, and so it was very, very close.
And I know it's tremendous time consuming for the girls here that, I mean, I was here one day and Lori was on the phone 2 hours listening and it's terrible. Okay, FEMA?
So it's in the works, and then the third road, Mill Road, we can't submit it because we're still waiting for the guardrail company to come and,
That's what I'll need to ask Dave about, and if he can. We'll do that next meeting. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I did have something, I'm hearing the visitors, but this ties right into road conditions. It's my understanding that they have started the preliminary work on the power lines. They dropped off a couple of 4-wheelers the other day. Has the town been notified, because it's going to have a huge impact on Mill Road once they start working on those power lines?
where are they working, beyond?
They're gonna be redoing all of the power lines behind our property, so up.
It's a big one, okay.
Oh, yeah, I mentioned it a couple of years ago because they got lost and ended up down on our property, couldn't find their way out. So, I know, it's kind of
Are they
funny.
going up
They'll be going up I believe the Forest Service Road, yeah.
the one right there by the high bridge, right up
Yes,
there?
right beyond it.
Yep.
So I was wondering, have they contacted you? Dave, I think last year when we talked about it, he knew that kind of something was gonna go on, but he said normally they let you guys know, and it's supposed to, according to the people last year, they said it was supposed to start this year. So it's gonna, I mean, the equipment that they bring up, they have to put all the pads down, those,
Yep.
it's just,
Lori, we haven't received anything,
no,
nothing yet.
no.
okay.
Unless they contacted Dave directly, but I haven't received anything.
Okay. Alright. That's all on roads that I have. Anything on recycling, guys? No? Emergency management?
One quickie.
Yep.
I don't think Bob's not here.
No.
I asked Lori to send you all a copy of Dara Zink's email
About the, training,
about the training
Yes.
course on Monday, April 29th.
right?
And Dara's memo made it pretty clear the need,
Mm-hmm.
and we have all talked about this. John may not be familiar with. It's a minimum to be able to qualify and sign off on the emergency management plan and the hazard mitigation plan. And each of those 2 plans allow for an additional 5% compensation from FEMA in the event of a disaster. So it's urgent that we have them. And at this point, Nancy is the only one
I think Lori, oh, yeah.
who can sign off on those plans, and that she's the only one that's taken the equivalent course some 15 or 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So if
And-
anybody can possibly make it, it's 2 weeks from today, 4 to 8 in Bennington, unless we've got time from 8 to 3 or
11 to 3,
11
11
to
to
3.
3, or 8, or 4 to 8.
But it's a super opportunity to have somebody come and give the course in person, as opposed to trying to do these online or traveling much further than Bennington.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Mowing bids. The bids went out with pre-bid viewing of the area is 4/24, is that next Thursday at 5 o'clock. If any select board wanna come down here and, meet with any of the people that we sent mowing bids to, so we can show them where to mow. And we also asked them to, pick up the debris, fix the lawn. So that's next Thursday at 5 o'clock. Moving on, joint meeting with the school directors. I emailed Erica Bailey, no reply yet. But we did set Thursday, April 25th at 6:30, or May 9th at 6:30. She has both those dates, and apologize for not getting back to me sooner. Board of Civil Authority training. Finally. Marta, can I have your email?
Sure.
Because I wanted to send it to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Marta, M-A-R-T-A, dot, J-O,
J-O?
dot Miller, at gmail.com. Yes, my middle name,
Okay.
Marta Jo.
Marta Jo. Anyway, it's going to be Thursday, May 2nd, 4 to 5:30, or 6 o'clock here at the town office. And that is for the select board and the, justice of the peace, Lori. Though the assessor, I sent him a copy, the only email I need is Tina's.
I have it,
You have it,
I'll do that to you.
okay. I'll send it to her.
What was that date again?
Thursday, May 2nd,
Okay.
4 o'clock.
Okay.
And it'll be done by Zoom. We don't know how many other towns will be joining in with us. And, correspondence, sign assignment of Main Road parcel.
So the town received an offer to purchase the town's interest in the waiting period for the 1.39 acre parcel on Main Road.
Right.
So the attorney's drawn up the assignment, if the town wants to convey its interest.
And we approved this last week, right?
No, this is
This is
different.
new.
This is a new one, yeah. We approved the 4-acre one.
You
Oh,
approved
yes,
it,
that's
and
right.
that's what we said it was the assignment, but this came through
Oh,
the
they want it,
offer
okay,
and the assignment all since the last meeting, so.
okay.
Where's that?
It's the one across from Billmont Store by Hazel Sock.
Yeah.
Between Hazel Sock and Row House and McShane's house, right?
On Swampland?
Yeah.
It's a hot commodity here in
I
town.
know, everybody wants it.
As long as-
There must be gold on it.
I can remember people driving off the road there, and you couldn't see the roof of the car.
Can't find it, yeah.
And do I have a motion to sign this?
No, Bill tried forever to sell that, what was he doing wrong?
So Mike made the motion, was there a second?
It's like,
And they did send you the check and everything's here, right?
come on.
Yeah, they paid cash.
Okay.
So I have it,
Okay.
it was just sent up to
Did you-
the attorney. Yeah.
That wind up in tax sale, because there are no Pernics left.
Heronic sold it to some guy 2 years ago who didn't pay the tax.
Probably one of these like IT guys out of town, he said, oh, look at, I can get this for a song,
Road
comes
frontage.
up and goes, whoops.
Thank you, Laura.
This is grandfather.
Uniform municipal excess weight permit from Structural Wood Corporation. That's a new one.
That's a new one.
Hmm.
So they must be doing something in town, it says something about delivering those,
Trusses.
roof things.
Ah. Somebody must be building
You're
something.
familiar.
Any new buildings going up with new
Alpenwald.
trusses?
Mm-hmm. Alpenwald.
Oh, thank you very much. Hmm. Let's see.
What's the damage?
$10.
Sweet.
I'll spend it all on my
Dave
Just
says
send them
take,
out to everybody out of business road town.
Dave says take the check.
Yeah.
That's it with correspondence?
Yeah, just the water system thing, but you probably have that too.
Oh yeah, I've got it under new business.
I don't
Okay.
have anything else.
Okay, old business, well, we've been working on permits. We've been working on the fee structure, the payment structure for the, AO, and redesigning the permits, so Lori, Deb, and I incorporated Deb's suggestions, the assessor's suggestions, a permit from another town, we combined them all into one, and hopefully there's quite a bit in here. You can see that there's a permit for the notice of building construction, that's for, one small accessory building not exceeding 300 square feet, and, or a farm building, and the only fee attached to that is the recording fee, because there's no fee. And the other one is application for a building or conditional use permit. And that has all the fees attached to it. In previous years, everything was $100, whether you have a multifamily dwelling, or just adding a deck onto a house, everything was $100. So now we kind of, raise those fees, because I think they were probably $100 for at least 25 years anyway. So Deb has looked at them, Lori's looked at them, and,
I do have a question though.
yes,
Just from last night, because it says on the building permit that you must have already gotten all your other permits. If you need a 911, if you need a driveway, and if you need a septic or water. But you were kind of looking at it like they shouldn't be doing the septic and water until they go to the town and get the permit.
Not,
So
well,
which way,
this whole, they can do the septic first. This, I was talking about like in the context of this subdivision and everything.
okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if maybe we should be doing it the other way around, but.
I'm wondering, where does the planning commission come into this when people want to subdivide? In the past, historically, it's supposed to go through the planning commission first. I don't know if this
It
town
will.
has done it.
It does.
You do a site plan review for anything more than 2 show.
I can approve 2 lots. Anything beyond that goes, yeah, so Dave, to answer your question, this would have automatically been referred to the planning commission.
and attached to both building permits is a graph, because a lot of the diagrams will come in on, a napkin, back of a paper bag, and hopefully.
Now at least you can draw a straight line.
Hopefully it'll be easier for the AO. So, we approved all the application fees, we just need to go into executive session later to finalize the AO fees. There was one question that I had on that, but other than that, this is all the new fees and application. So Lori, it's a go?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't think we need a motion to approve them because everything is, according to our zoning bylaws, they've gotta follow them. Carolyn?
This is regarding permits.
Yes?
I wanted to say that, with regard to the sign permitting, I know that there was a question about whether there was actually a conversation with the AO, and anyone who knows me knows that I take copious notes no matter what I'm involved with. I brought my original notebook with the notes that, from the conversation that I had with the AO at the time, and I was told that no permit was needed for the town sign. I also have copies, I believe you all have.
We all have them.
Okay, I just wanted to be really, really clear about that, and if anybody wants to check the original document, you're more than welcome to.
Carolyn, on the new form, there is a spot for, the AO's action, whether it's approved, denied, referred, no permit needed. This form will be filed in the office with a check, no permit needed, and the town is waiving the, recording fee. So it will be recorded and not just, nothing verbal anymore. We've gotta protect the town, the AO, the people, and hopefully this will never happen again.
Okay, I also have a question related to that, which is where's the town sign? And who authorized removing it?
We, the select board, authorize removing it.
Okay.
I haven't seen where it's stored. I believe it's up to the town garage, but I don't know that. I haven't seen where it is.
It's behind the town garage sand shed.
Did Dave take it there?
What's that?
Did Dave take it there?
Me and Doug took it down.
With town equipment or?
Just the two of us and personal vehicles.
Oh, okay.
And is there any plan for a town sign?
Not that I know of.
Great, so we're a town without a sign.
Does the select board need to, task the planning commission with looking into potentially changing the bylaws? Is that the chain of events if that were to be an option?
Not completely sure, Dave, or is that something that the planning board would take up on their own, if they so choose, or? is that
We haven't had our meeting yet,
Right.
and we have to reorganize the board with all the people that have left. So they probably will address that, or I certainly can bring it up.
But does
During
it
the
have
time.
to come from the select board to the planning board to request that? If
I
they
can't
put it on
answer
the
that.
agenda? Do you guys know?
I don't know the.
At some point, we need to try to get a
We have
sign,
to know whose call that is.
and do we have to reapply, how does this?
I mean,
process
I
work?
suppose anybody could
Correctly,
petition the
and
planning
not
board
have
to
any
take it
issues.
up.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
when you
gonna
have
be
a,
up to the chair to set the intent on the
when you
chair.
have a public hearing on your zoning bylaws, when you have your first public hearing, the people can say, hey, I don't like this. Can you change it? Or I'd like to see this in the bylaws. I think that's the process.
Well, I mean, we can go ahead and put something together. My guess is you would have to have a town vote on it, if you're gonna change any of the dimensions that are in there now.
You would
Right.
basically have to amend, you would have to amend the bylaws and go through
Yes.
the process.
Right, go through the
Yes.
process, yep.
It's a
Yes.
public hearing.
Public hearing, but the select board's final decision on the
Right.
bylaw.
Right,
Right,
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we sign off on the bylaw.
Right.
yep.
right.
Goes back and forth.
It goes back and forth,
Yeah.
yeah.
If the select board applied for another permit, it would be denied, go back to the planning board. If we applied for a different dimensional signs for, if we applied for a different area and it didn't violate as many, of the bylaws, it may still be able to pass.
Right.
Correct?
The,
I mean, we can
the
continue to do that.
AO should be able to help you walk through what's
Right.
gonna
We can
pass and
say,
what's
okay,
not
here's a
gonna
different
pass.
sign, or we're gonna take that original sign and put it in a different spot, or if there was a plan
Yes.
in place, correct?
Absolutely.
Have you guys discussed possibly having municipalities be exempt from zoning,
We-
as most towns are?
We did discuss it, and it seems like we're,
Yeah,
I mean, I brought that law forward, and
I mean,
it's
I'm-
under interpretation, I guess.
I'm not
Everything is.
for everything, but
Yeah.
things like, you know, signs, I mean, I wouldn't be for setbacks or something like that.
So,
But signs for, you know, the school or municipalities or the fire station, I mean, that makes total sense that they should be exempt from something like that.
But that would have to come in the,
That's sort of the way the most,
Planning commission and
that's the way
zoning
most
bylaws.
towns and municipalities are.
Right, but that would still have to go through our bylaws.
right.
I agree with what you're saying, but if you dig further into the statute that you talked about, they generally follow the accepted town
right, we
standards.
would have to put.
You're
an
exempt,
extra-
but you still have to follow whatever the
Right.
standards are, so,
So we would go back and go through that bylaw, and say, hey, look, we're gonna follow this statute.
right.
It's
You
gonna
gotta
say
get
we're
approved by the
exempt from
town.
these things.
It would have to be a town vote, they would have to say, yeah, we're gonna take all signs this size,
Yeah,
under these things.
you're going to end up with the same problem if you want the sign back there. You're gonna send it to me, it's gonna get
Denied.
rejected, it goes there,
Right.
it gets rejected.
Yeah.
It's gonna be,
Right.
so you gotta
Yeah.
solve this.
Right,
So it's going to have to be a bylaw amendment that
Right.
says municipalities are exempt, and it goes to the town.
Or-
Because there's multiple infractions.
alter the signs so that it meets the bylaws.
Right.
I mean, I saw no creativity at all of anybody trying to
In order
redesign
to
that
al- I
sign.
mean, that sign's not gonna work on any kind of alteration that I can see with it, unless you're just gonna say, you know.
If you cut it into 3 pieces and,
No, if you make them exempt,
Stand forward.
If it's exempt, it'll work, but the sign as it stands now is too big.
if you make signs exempt,
Exactly, but if we
then they're
don't,
exempt from the size.
then if we don't.
they're not exempt from the
it's
size
still
though.
too big.
They still have to
Right,
follow.
If and when
Right.
is different.
You can take that sign right now and cut it in 3 places and put it a millimeter apart. Now you have 3 separate signs that fit dimensionally. Think about what I'm saying.
I mean, that's.
I mean,
It makes sense, but that's just crazy.
why is it crazy?
Why would you do that?
Because you could use the
It's still the
sign,
same sign is actually
Well,
gonna be bigger. because
What I would
it
say,
can't be.
what I would say.
there wouldn't be enough gap as long as there's a gap.
Right.
The reason why I would say it's crazy is because once we do it, everybody can do it.
Yes,
That's the problem.
yes,
So I would rather put it in stone that says municipalities are exempt versus, so the guy down the road says, I'm gonna put a sign up, and it's
Right.
gonna be a mass smoking sign, and he breaks them up into little pieces, they can get away with it, and then we kinda lose.
we always try to get away with stuff. That's right, that's what government's up. But the question becomes, why are you going through this? Because whatever you put in to try to accommodate that sign, the whole town can do it. So
Not if it's just
Not if we
municipalities.
exempt the municipality.
still has to follow the town standard. You can exempt it, not having a permit, but it's this is where you and I differ, it
Right.
still follows town bylaw and standard.
David, can you
Unless-
set a,
unless
can you
just-
set a standard for municipal signs separate from other signs?
Sure.
I can't answer that, all I can answer is what's done in Vermont now.
The only way around the sign is that you either, signs are exempt, or you amend the bylaws. This sign or the old sign, neither of them are gonna work, they're both in violation.
Right.
So, this is where we are with the sign.
Which I think it was mentioned, if we brought the old sign back, it would be grandfathered, but I don't believe it will be now.
It's been down for too long.
Well, that's what I'm
Those
wondering.
sign
And it's too
standards,
big.
those sign standards that we have now, I believe are actually bigger than what they used to be. They were smaller than that.
Right.
So, I mean, that
That's an
that
answer.
old sign was way out of order as well.
I mean, we have any business comes into this town now, we've set a precedence that you're not getting a sign.
Right.
That's what, pretty much, you're gonna have what's
That
the
was
sign
the
this
original,
big?
that was the original intent and plan, I think, anyway, when the whole signs got brought into the bylaws.
Right.
It was to have no signage in town.
Right.
Sally?
Could we just get a sign out there that says town office? I mean, I sit here numerous times, people are walking around this building, they have no idea how to get in here, they don't even know this is a town office.
Okay.
What if we
Put
put
a sign out
on
there
the
that
building?
says
Can you
town
call it a
office,
sticker?
school, and library.
Could you put something
You can-
on the building?
You can find a way
That's a
to come
sign.
up, you can
You
find a way
can-
to come
it
up
can
with a
only
whole
be that
third
big.
sign option
Yeah, but
and
just
make it
town
totally
office.
separate.
If we have them painted on the building and call it art, I think it's under a
I
First
bet it'll
Amendment,
be
right?
attached.
You go get my spray can.
I think we got enough on the sign.
We have.
I think
We have.
most definitely, but if everyone wants a sign.
There's always
up there,
creative
I
ways
think
to
the
get
only
around
way to get a
everything.
sign is to have a whole new sign, a third sign, that's smaller than the original two signs.
The
That is it.
Bottom line is, we have had enough on the sign.
That's right.
Deb's right, there's, right now, we can talk, but what's
We're
the
not gonna
solution?
solve anything yet.
What's the solution?
A third
Enough
sign.
is enough.
It has to go back to the bylaws is the only solution I see.
Right.
But just get a
Either that or
little.
put up a 12 square
You
sign.
gotta get a permit for it, whether it's little or big, whether it
People
fits
not
in the
gonna
bylaws or
go
not,
over
you
here.
must get the permit, that's what we said from the
I mean, the
beginning.
sign can only be 4 by 3, I believe, according to the bylaws.
Yeah,
But
12
you
square
have
feet.
to go the right way, so you
I thought it was 3 by,
coming up the
4.
road and going down.
4
As
by
big as the sign can be, it's not much bigger than that baseball picture up there.
Right.
That's
Yep.
that's as big.
Oh, that's good.
But you can put up as many as you
3
want.
by 4, 12 square feet.
You can put up as many
Well, that's right, you
as
can
you
have
want.
on a stick and go, town
Boom.
hall.
That's why I was saying the other sign, you
School.
cut it in 3, it's still the same sign.
I understand, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
just like the lady down here's got a farm stand sign, she put it on a horse and it says farm stand.
Right, yeah.
Is it, did they get a permit for it? Should they?
For what, the farm
Eggs,
stand?
Farm stand.
eggs and broccoli.
I don't know, it's agricultural,
Agricultural.
You
so
know,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going down
they're
there.
exempt, are they exempt?
Agricultural.
Yeah, plus they're right on the Mass line, right?
No, no,
No,
no, I'm talking about the old Cooper's
Lions
house.
down
isn't
there.
that movable? Yes, it's movable. Patents, oh.
If it's
Patents
movable, we
on
can
house.
put our sign out there on wheels.
No, it's been
And I can tell the, I can tell the sign out there. That library sign is not movable. That's a lot closer to the road than any other sign.
What's that?
Did
The
anybody,
library sign.
did anybody call the towns around to see if they're exempt?
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Okay, so you and I talk to
You can set
different
it up-
towns.
you
Can
set
I
it up
change
by
the
your own
subject?
bylaws.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say,
can
can
set
we
it up
move
to your
on?
own
Yeah.
bylaws.
Move on.
We're not
move
going
on,
to be
right
solving the
down.
sign tonight. Okay.
Enough is enough.
I
Deb,
agree.
do you have a question?
Yeah,
It doesn't
old
matter.
business, new business, I'm not sure.
Shut it down.
I am frustrated that the calendar is not ever updated on our website, and I've tried to reach out to Marie, I get nowhere. So can we move on from maybe her, I know she had good intentions, but it's not, we don't even know when the select board meetings are. I mean, nothing is, planning commission, I haven't even been
Green Day.
notified. I'm the zoning administrator. I don't even know when the planning commission meeting is.
either, except I read it on the door.
Lori has an update on that.
Well, Marie reached out to me after I emailed her the minutes and the agenda for this meeting, saying she had, due to some type of medical emergency, she couldn't do any postings. And so I did put the agenda on, I put it on the calendar, I did do the planning commission this week and put that on the calendar.
I saw it, yeah.
But I only did the bare minimum that had to get
Right.
posted, cause I don't wanna step on her toes if she's
Yeah,
gonna
I mean, we
come
don't
back
have
to
Green
it.
Up Day on there, we don't have, like, the subsequent, select board meetings, just the
Can we,
rudimentary.
have Lori go back and do this? It seems to work better if it stays right here at the office, cause she's getting the emails and
Mhm.
forwarding them on to Marie. If she
Yeah.
could just put them on and that way they'll be there.
As long as you don't mind doing it.
I don't mind doing it.
That's what,
I'm
before
fine.
Marie did it, you did it, correct?
Before Marie did it,
And that
I
was
did
kinda
it, people
new.
weren't happy with that, and
Right.
then Marie took it over, and
You're never gonna make everybody happy.
No.
Well, it seems like there's multiple people unhappy now, so.
50-50. If you get 51%, you win.
Right, exactly. You know, I think Marie had good intentions. It's a volunteer thing. It's nice to have volunteers in town. But it is our website and, you know, it should be under our control, I think, so, I mean, you know.
There's a correction to
I
be made
I
under,
feel bad saying it, but, you know, we should.
it's a correction to be
Take it
made
back.
under the planning board too, I'm not the ex officio, Jen Hughes is. It says I am not on the planning board.
You're not ex officio from the select board?
My term expired on the March.
But I think you're still ex
You're
You're
officio.
still there as a
You're
select
still there
person.
as. a
It's
select-
automatic if you want
So
to.
we went,
Two people from the select board can be ex officio.
okay,
So the board should vote who they want, basically.
that's fine, but does that, even though this board elected to go down to 7 members, I just thought the term,
Yeah.
I just thought the term was eliminated at that.
No. There's still 7 members of the planning board that are voting.
Mhm.
The ex officio members would not be voting members.
Right, you could have
You're
a
just
3-man
going
board
like-
and have 2 ex officios.
Alright,
You're going just like,
They just,
uh,
it's just
liaison.
advisory.
You're supposed to,
Communication between.
communication between,
you can leave me on, and I guess you would have to add Jen Hughes back on, unless she quit.
She didn't, renew as energy coordinator.
She
She's
still should
not
be
on
on the
that.
planning board though, as an ex officio.
Wasn't she ex officio because she was the energy coordinator?
No, she
Yes.
became ex officio because she, because she
Yeah.
was the energy coordinator, but
Right.
that was after the fact that she was already on the planning board as an ex officio.
Well, her,
She
Right,
can be
that
ex
is true.
officio because she was the energy coordinator. Now that she's not
Right.
ex
But she was a
officio.
member before she was the energy coordinator.
but that doesn't
That
allow
was
her
a
to be
member
ex
of the planning
officio,
commission, but
nothing to do with it.
Right,
But then when
she's
you went
not
from nine
appointed
to
as
seven-
Right.
board member. I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
And the select
And she
board
didn't
can have
put her
up to
name
2 appointed by the board.
Yes.
Okay.
2 members can be ex officio.
so she's not on the board of planning commission. Unless there's a resignation and then,
A loss for the town.
It's a,
I think it's important that the select board has somebody that participates, because that,
liaison.
that clears up a lot of, you know, unfortunately, this whole sign thing would have never happened if the right people were in play, but they weren't.
I haven't been to a planning board meeting in a while, but the planning board pretty much lets the visitors also speak. just
Oh, of
like
course,
we do. So
absolutely.
if Jen would want to still go to those meetings and put her, you know, her
Yeah.
knowledge involved, she could.
That's fine.
You know, that position really is just a position that, you know, you can speak anything.
I just
I've
think it's
been, when
too
I
bad
was
because
at
she
the
was
board,
very
you guys
good.
let me.
I come here and speak, and I'm nothing, I mean,
she didn't resign though.
She was a valuable member of the team.
She
so I
didn't
just think it's
resign.
definitely a
Her
loss for the
term
town.
expired.
she
and-
didn't write in and say she would take
Her
it.
She
term
did.
is-
She did write it.
She most certainly did
She
so
did write
write in. We
I
have
think that
the
the
email.
reason why she's ex officio is because she was on
Correct.
energy coordinator.
Right,
Once she
We were a
Once she-
nine-member board, which she was a part
resigned
of.
from that, she can no longer have that position.
We were a nine-member board, which she was
So
a
what
part
was she
of
put in
before.
for?
She was a voting member
She
of that
wanted to be a
board
voting member.
during the whole rewriting of the zoning.
And
But
she
I-
did you wanna be on the planning?
When I
Yes.
made noise
She
because
wanted
I was
to.
on the select board about being ex officio because I didn't want a conflict. When Janet Hurley came back, said, well, the energy coordinator has to be ex officio too. So that just moved Jen to ex officio. She never left the board in any
No,
capacity. And her
never.
term is not up.
Her term is up on the planning board.
You're
Her
right,
term is not up.
I think it is.
It
My
is.
term was up.
Was it your?
Jen's term,
I saw no dates in the book.
wasn't Jen's term up?
Well, I don't know exactly how all that works, and it's not, I mean,
well, you had
Never did
9
run
voting
that.
members, and she was one of them. And then you moved to 7, and she just became ex officio, so
She
she
gave
wasn't
up,
part
yeah.
of the 7 anymore.
Right,
And so it,
Just to stay ex officio until the end of the term that she already
and then
had.
when she didn't renew as energy
That's right.
coordinator, she was no longer ex officio, and by the time that we received her letter, all the appointments had been made, so.
Well, a question to answer you, Bill, is if a select board was on ex officio to planning board till 2025, but was voted out in 2024, would they remain on the planning board? No.
No.
So that, therefore, it's the same incident. I'm just saying, if that's the reason why she's ex officio, or she was on a planning committee.
She
No,
sent a
okay.
letter,
I don't really
she
know.
sent a letter that got received kinda late, I thought, and then she already had,
Right.
But she had said right in public meetings that she would resign energy coordinator to be a voting member of the planning board again.
Yes.
I mean, whatever, it's neither here nor there, so we can move
Well,
on.
it is
It's just
kind of
it's just a
important.
loss to that board.
It is,
because she was
it's
extra
very
valuable.
I
important.
feel like it is here or there, I'm sorry.
Well,
but
she's
she
not here
did
to
say-
fight for the position.
I know, which I wish she were, but she's probably feeling kind of upset about what happened, because she did send a letter. And it was, you know,
Whether it was lost in the snail mail or email or wasn't received here, it wasn't received by the board for our appointments.
but it came into Lori in the morning of the meeting. So, you know, there's
Right.
there's a human error here, which I completely believe is something we're all capable of.
Yeah, yeah.
But in the face of that human error, I do think that having not heard from her that she wanted to resign, and having her previously said that she was interested in being off the Energy Commission to become a voting member, I really feel like she was done a huge disservice by, you know, I mean, maybe Albie could be on as an alternate, or maybe there could be some other way that her position would be maintained. That seems fair to me. It's my opinion. As you would
Okay.
say.
I guess we're all set with that.
I
Yeah.
don't really know where to go,
Okay.
where to go.
Well,
from
until,
there. I mean, she's not here, she's not saying she wants this position, so.
right, and we have a full board for the planning commission, if somebody resigns, leaves,
I mean,
whatever.
I'm not in favor of going back to the people that we did appoint and
No.
tell them, oh, now we can't, you can't be, I'm not in favor of that. I do believe if there was a human error, you know, I guess that's, you know, it is a mistake. But, you know, the letters that the other members that we did appoint came in, you know, far faster than the day of
The
the
day
meeting.
of.
And, you know, that error probably would have been caught.
What if your taxes are postmarked day of, they still count? I don't see that.
Oh, I
that's-
understand,
That's
but,
a
you know,
qualifier, you know?
You know, whether or not she would have got voted in over someone else, we will never know now.
Well, you know, there was one moment when, when discussing who got a 4-year term and who got a 1-year term, Kurt was pointing out that it's the tradition that unless someone resigns, that they're reappointed. You know, unless they've been, I don't know, bad in some way.
And most of the time, that was tradition, because no one else applied for the position.
Yeah.
Right,
We've had very little in the past, people stepping up to the plate, and now we're fortunate enough to have more than enough, so. It is an issue, but, you know,
I mean,
that might be tradition, but that's not a
it's
rule.
not a rule, no, and it may change over time because more and more people are interested in these
Sure.
positions,
right.
you know. And we may wanna change it as a board, whoever this board is over time too, to be more selective who gets these positions.
You can always go to the town and have the town vote for the, planning commission. That would take you guys right out of it. It would be an independent
We
board,
just go-
like many towns do,
Elected.
Okay,
elected.
could be elected,
That would solve all this.
but, you know.
Well,
when-
right
where's
now,
your
what
bar
is,
stop?
right now, it is what it is, and we'll go forward. In our packet, Lori sent us some, a letter from the state of Vermont regarding a permit to operate for the Stanford Elementary School water system. For many years, the school has filled out the paperwork as the permittee. Permittee. And now the state wants to know, does the school own, who the owner is, the school or the town?
And they filled out it as, location, but they always had the town
As
as the
the owner.
permittee on the,
On the owner.
Who
on
knows?
the owner.
Yep.
So,
One lawyer says one thing,
I know this has been going on for a while, who owns the land and all this. I know Mr. The principal Randy's been talking to Lori about it, and I was in here one day and he said, what do we do? Well, whose name is the permit in? And he said, the school. Let it go, why change it? Why change it now? Well, I guess the state maybe doesn't like it. So they sent a letter, they want to know if the school owns the land, we will have to sign a lease, say the school owns the land, otherwise we continue, say the town owns this, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff in here about how we're gonna.
Is that even in compliance,
Must be.
We don't have to lease them a lot.
the water?
So
Is it in
anyway,
compliance? Where are you getting the water from?
right there, out front.
I'm gonna tell you, this is an opinion, this is not the board's stance. I'm gonna tell you, every time the state asks questions, pay attention.
Yep.
So,
What are they giving you?
there's a reason why they're asking these questions.
Mhm.
And I truly believe there's also a reason why they ask for ownership.
Mhm.
I've gone down this road for 10 years now, arguing and looking at deeds. And I'm in belief, again, this is my opinion, educated opinion, I think, that the town and residents own this property 100%. After everything I've looked at, 100%. There is a law in place that the school has the rights for the operational part of the school. They're for more like safety reasons for anything.
The maintenance and all
Yeah.
that, yep.
If we have these joint meetings ever, we can discuss this some more. I would love to transfer the maintenance and permits to the town. It doesn't cost the townspeople any more money, whether you buy it from here or here. Matter of fact, my understanding is our dollar goes farther on the town side. It's a no-brainer if you look at it as a business thing. Why are we playing this game, and why are we arguing about who owns this? Let's set this in stone at a meeting and say, yes, we agree, school board and town and select board, the town of Stanford, the residents of Stanford own this property. Therefore, when we pull a permit, we tell the state, yeah, we're the permit. But if they, I know they're gonna say, well, is this water good? Is this gonna be a liability? So be it.
Why are they asking us now?
Right,
That's why are they
exactly,
asking?
because there's a reason why, they're gonna come back and say something.
Right on the heels of the ocean.
Yeah, and there's also turmoil within the school, union, I guess you would call it, or supervisor union, right? There's problems already, we know that. Things are going on behind the scenes that they're doing all these executive sessions and emergency meetings. There's problems, and I truly believe that the state wants to merge, they wanna save money, they wanna merge schools, and if they own this, what next? What happens to us? What happens to this building? Did we lease it? Did they charge us rent? Did they bump it up? Did they kick us out?
Forced consolidation, they'll probably use it for something.
We need, and if we have to create a lease, we create a lease for $1. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
But I think we should really push Erica and the board to have these joint meetings. Get going on this. We've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I know COVID kinda messed it up. Before COVID, we were talking about this.
We're definitely sniffing around about something.
We bought windows and it cost us more money because we went through the school.
Right.
Our taxes don't go as far. Let's do this. Stop kicking it down the road.
Yeah, let's have a meeting.
Yep.
Trying to.
And I truly, I would tell the state, if the principal wants to talk, I'd talk to him and tell him, let's tell the state that the town owns this.
Why didn't they ask us this last year when they tested the water?
I think the water permit comes up every so often, and it's time for renewal, and they've done all their things.
Isn't it a known fact there's just water problems in school? Didn't they have on their agenda, a couple meetings ago, maybe 10 meetings ago or something, that there were some issues with the water? And they wanted to get a system in here to clean the water when, you know, I told them it only came up, it failed in one bathroom, it's not the water, it's the pipes in the bathroom. You know, it made sense.
Yeah, and the principal would like to have the permit issued and would like to just leave everything the way it is and move forward. And he responded to the state and said that, and so then she reached out to us to confirm that we're in agreement with that as well.
Agreed.
It just
Yeah.
said it doesn't have, please notice that the permit to operate does not have an expiration date. Although the permit to operate will be amended by this division as deemed necessary over time. That's kind of an open.
Who does the amendment?
Well, that's kind of an open
The
thing.
state.
Yeah.
The state health.
But if you agree to put it forward as it's been, then they're not amending anything.
At this
That's
time,
right.
right, so we have, I
Send
have
them
no
out.
problem doing
Keep
that.
it the way it is.
But I also wanna, during this joint meeting, I wanna,
Stanford?
you know, set this in stone. I mean, you read the deeds, every deed says, town of Stanford, resident of Stanford, there's like 3 deeds.
Inhabitants of the town of Stanford.
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't say school anywhere on there. You know, it's the residents building.
Get rid of this one thing and go on.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have to do anything, or you can write back and say it's the town of Stanford.
Yeah,
Keep it,
agreed.
keep it as it always is, town of Stanford.
You agree, confirm?
Confirm. And if there's a problem, we have to deal with it, whether it's a school that deals with it, or it's gotta be dealt with if there is a problem.
I don't wanna it just doesn't make sense if we say anywhere in history, anywhere going forward, oh, the school owns that. And all of a sudden, there goes the property. You know, when they were talking about joining up with Clarksburg,
Well, at that
we were gonna be members of the Northern Berkshire School District.
yeah.
Where's the property go? If they
So that-
decide to close the school down, which one gets closed down? Ours? Do they sell the property?
The state's a mess on education.
Yeah. Okay, and, I have one more thing on the new business, but it's, I attended a webinar yesterday on the open meeting law, Lori was there. Lisa attended as a planning commission, I don't know, Deb, were you able to get
I
on?
wasn't, no.
Basically, what I took out of it is that we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. So I think we're in compliance. I don't think there was anything that we should change, and just that, I saw the hammer there. But we've been pretty good lately, so.
Should've had that here a year ago.
Any other new business, Lori? New business board? No? I would like to make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
And the motion to go into executive session is for, the motion to go into executive session to discuss, tax sale and personnel matter. So first, Sally, I think you'll be to come in.
I'm second.
No, first.
We'll make it
Well,
first. You know, we know it's tax about
So
that.
hard. Yeah, we're discussing salary, but
I don't need to be here, do I?
No, no.
Okay, good, thank you.